quarterbacks who signed deals for more guaranteed money than Cam Newton this offseason. Andy Dalton, Blaine Gabbert, Colt McCoy, Jeff Driscoll, Chase Daniels, Marcus Mariota, Case Keenum, A.J. McCarron, Matt Schaub, Matt Barkley, Nathan Peterman. It's also worth noting, A.J. McCarron plays behind me in the group in my weekly golf game on Saturday. Something to think about. But those are the players. Now, there was a reply that I was hoping I would see, but it might have got buried. The top reply to this tweet that I saw was that teams are worried about how Cam Newton is invested in playing quarterback. They're worried about, does he care more? This is the tweet. This isn't my thoughts. The tweet, I was paraphrasing, but the tweet was saying that teams are worried more about, and it's just some stupid fan, but this is the narrative, that they were worried about, is Cam more concerned about his outfits, more concerned about fashion, or more concerned about playing quarterback? And I don't want to make this a race thing. I don't think it's fully a race thing, but I do think it's so interesting how this happens. So this guy is taking Cam Newton, who's a former MVP, a former Super Bowl, not winning, but he went to the Super Bowl, a guy who's played his entire career with really no problems, no off-field real issues, no real suspensions, he's had some injury issues, but nothing crazy. And the narrative on Cam Newton, according to this fan, is still his fashion, his outfits. It's just funny to me how this can be a thing. Like, how can this be a thing? How can they care about what Cam Newton's wearing, about if he's arrogant, about if he's smiling, about how he acts, when you never hear about what Baker Mayfield's wearing? You never hear about what any of these other quarterbacks are doing, or if they're arrogant or cocky, or if they're focused on quarterback or not. When Peyton Manning was in 60 commercials on Sundays, when he was hosting Saturday Night Live, when he was doing all of that, how many times did you hear, is Peyton Manning focused on his comedy career, or is he focused on the NFL? I just think Cam Newton is so disrespected, I guess. And it's so weird because I hear so many people say, I just don't like Cam Newton. I don't like Cam Newton. And I can't figure out why, he says with a smirk. I don't want to just say it's because he's black. But there is a quarterback who's notably not on this list. Can y'all figure it out, chat? Can y'all figure out which quarterback signed for, or which one is not on this list? I'll give you a hint. It's Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston isn't on this list. This list, again, Andy Dalton, Blaine Gabbert, Colt McCoy, Jeff Driscoll, Chase Daniel, Marcus Mariota, Case Keenum, A.J. McCarron, Matt Schaub, Matt Barkley, Nathan Peterman. All signed for more guaranteed money than Cam Newton and Jameis Winston. Isn't that weird? Isn't that funny? And again, I'm not going to go full race bait here. I'm not going to go full on and say that the reason that people are doubting Cam Newton, the reason that Cam Newton's narrative is different than the narrative of Nathan Peterman, is because Cam Newton is black. But this is a conversation. Why the hell are these teams passing up on Cam Newton? Why did the Denver Broncos pass up on Cam Newton? Why did the Jacksonville Jaguars? Why are these teams passing on him? I mean, why? In the idea, like, oh, well, maybe he was hurt, right? The idea that, oh, well, we didn't know. That is so irrelevant because, one, all these teams have world-class medical analysis where they can do all these tests. Obviously, he's healthy, so it wasn't that. And even if he was, where it's like, yeah, okay, we're worried about the health, that still doesn't make sense for why he's signing for less guaranteed money than these guys. If you're worried about Cam Newton's health, it's like, wait, we're worried about his health so much that Nathan Peterman is getting more guaranteed money than Cam Newton? You don't have the medical teams that can tell you how he is medically? You don't have the teams, the doctors that can give you some kind of report on how healthy he is? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I got this GIF playing like nonstop here, but I just think that Cam Newton at this point of his career, when you look at what Cam Newton has done his entire career, it's just so crazy to me that he's still this underrated. And maybe it's not underrated. Maybe he's just bottom line disrespected. I mean, is that possible that Cam Newton is disrespected? Have you ever heard a teammate, have you ever heard anyone that's played with Cam Newton come out and say that they hated playing with Cam Newton? Because I certainly haven't. I mean, where is it coming from? Why is this the narrative with Cam? And if the answer is that he's black, I understand that. But I'm trying to figure out, play devil's advocate here, and trying to figure out what could be the alternative reason. How is the Patriots the only team? How are the Patriots the only team? I mean, let's look at the NFL here. You're talking about the Dolphins. I understand that Tua is waiting. But again, you can get Cam Newton super cheap. If you're the Dolphins, wouldn't you rather have Cam Newton for a year? Because Cam Newton's a little bit more like Tua, and Cam Newton can show Tua a little bit more about, hey man, this is how you play when you're mobile. This is how you kind of navigate running and whatever. Then Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you're the Jets, I mean, I guess I can get if you want to play Darnold, but the Giants, are you really ready to go with Daniel Jones? Washington, again, don't you think Washington would be fine having Cam play a year and let Haskins sit and learn from Cam? I mean, we're going through these teams. Chicago, why bring in Foles over Cam? The Lions, the Packers, Vikings, they're all set. Houston set. Colts, Phillip Rivers, whatever. Jaguars, Minshew or Cam? I don't know. I mean, Denver, like some people have said in chat, they're just okay with Drew Lock. I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's just kind of obvious at this point of this narrative that Cam Newton has stuck with him. And you know what? I'm happy for Cam Newton. I hope Cam Newton dominates. I hope he has a great year. I hope the Patriots go to the playoffs. I hope Cam Newton has a fantastic year. I think Cam Newton has been a good player his whole career. Obviously, he's former MVP, former Super Bowl quarterback. And it's good to see how they're using him in New England. Let's go to chat here. If Cam was white and played the same way for the Broncos, he'd be bigger than the NFL. Where else do we hear about the fashion thing and people focus more on Hollywood? LeBron, Westbrook. You see it a lot in the NBA and what race the majority of the players. I mean, I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. I think that is obviously a big part of this.